I've asked Kevin Harvick, Tony Stewart, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin. We've had them all on here. And I'm going to end the same way with you because I think it takes us all. It takes the race car driver, takes the journalist. And so I'm going to ask you the same thing I asked them. 4 questions. 4. Your opinion on the state of NASCAR right now?
Ooh, I think I feel like it's on the upswing. I feel like it's creating some new fan bases. The challenge is, if you ask me to predict where the car industry is going to be in 5 or 10 years, that's hard to predict. So how am I supposed to know where the auto racing industry is going to go?
You just
I
answered it.
Right, like that.
You answered the sport right there. Don't know where we're going yet.
Yeah, but I will say this: I still think that the biggest challenge is, especially now, um, the biggest challenge is getting people to have passion for the drivers, because in the past you used to go to Talladega, and 10 years ago you go to Talladega and you see Calvin and Hobbes stickers peeing on a Chevrolet logo or a Ford logo on the back of a car. You don't have that anymore. You don't have that natural connection to your driver of your favorite car manufacturer, and you don't have the Busch Series going to like South Boston, and that driver champ getting a ride and then building their way up. And so that, you don't have these track champions who are now racing on Sundays who people kind of feel connection to through their local communities. So I think that, to me, that's the biggest challenge for NASCAR going forward.
So I'm going to skip number 2 and number 3.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Okay, no, right there. See there? It says the sport is too corporate. Okay, but you just brought it up, so I'm going to skip 2 and 3. We're going to go back to the next gen and penalties. The sport is too corporate. We all know that, and it's because the sponsors don't want their drivers saying anything wrong to dilute their sales. Don't say nothing wrong, because then we'll only get 50% of the people to buy our product. So you're a journalist. Did you like it better when Rusty threw the water bottle at Dale Sr.? Did you like it better when Dale Jr. got fined for saying SHIT? What is your opinion? Are we too cleaned up? Is that why we don't have the decals of, and the drama? I mean, it was fun, more fun back then. What's your opinion?
Well, I mean, my opinion is that the sponsors still have way too much influence, but they pay for that influence, right? And so the way to fix that is to make it so that the teams are less dependent on sponsorship, right? And if they can figure out the model and figure out this charter system to a point where the teams are less reliant on sponsorship, they potentially can make more decisions based on talent rather than sponsors that a driver is bringing, and B, potentially let them be a little bit more themselves.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt we definitely, on purpose, dumbed the drivers down. That's why I like Denny Hamlin. I like actions detrimental. I think, although it makes the NASCAR wiggle a little bit uncomfortable, it's like you said, you got to go outside your comfort zone. And Dale Jr. hired Denny Hamlin, and I think it's really good for the sport. So let's go back. We're coming down to the last 2. What is your opinion on the next gen car, the new car?
I I'm mixed. I like the fact that a Trackhouse and a colleague can come in and win some races, and it's probably because of the parity that the new car brings. Not a fan. The challenge has been last year on the safety side, and currently still on the short track side. The advancement on the car, because NASCAR runs it all, is it takes too long. They're not very nimble in it being able to make changes, because A, you only have a single supplier of parts, but B, the teams are not working on stuff.
Stenhouse burnt up again
Yeah.
yesterday.
So, and and so what happens now, NASCAR and that team kind of talk and maybe try to figure out a fix. But in the past, what would happen is that every team would be calling Stenhouse's, would be calling Mike
What
Kelly over
happened?
at JTG, and they'd all be trying to think of answers and trying to work on answers because they can figure out, they can make their own parts and pieces to improve it. And obviously in this news era, they can't, they're not going to make a new piece that they can't, that, because NASCAR's in charge of all the manufacturing and all the designs of
Yeah.
it. So I think that's, to me, that's the biggest
Yeah,
challenge.
I understand, and I agree with you 100%. So, the last one, what, 3, 4 months ago, Hendrick, received, with all the teams combined, I believe it was the largest penalty in NASCAR history, combined, like
Yeah.
$400,000. What is your opinion on the incredible fines, the tech inspection, the way they're governing the car?
Well, I mean, I think the fines have to be big in this because of the nature of this car, and
Yeah.
I think what I think's been best is that after that
Take a drink, Bob.
they started they've now started showing us the parts and pieces, like, right, like last weekend they showed us the photo of Kevin Harvick's windshield, and then they showed us the part and the piece and how, and how like difficult it would be for it to come loose, during a race. And certainly that's their side of it, but at least they showed us the Austin Dillon piece that got them in trouble. They showed us the SHR spoiler that got them in trouble. So at least they're now, I like the fact that they're at least showing us what's wrong and explaining to us what's wrong, so that those types of fines, it helps fans make at least a little bit more educated determination on whether those fines are just or not.